You are back in the shop with me today, guys. And this week on the channel, we're gonna do the 2-year review on the CNC flip-up table and enclosure that I built. Stick around. I'm Stoner Ericson from Ericson Design Company, and let's build something. Ta-da! 2.5 years ago, even before I got my X-Carve, I built this flip-up CNC table. I did not come up with this idea, I just improved on it that works best for me in my shop. It lives against this wall like this, nice and neatly, saving every precious inch in a small shop. And when I'm ready to get into it and start using it, it's as simple as this. I just slide it across, grab my lever or my little rope to pull it up, pull out my pin there, and then I just gently rise it to the surface. This little switch or this little rope lives on this toggle switch that actually has a pin that now holds this level. On the other side, in this drawer, I also have another pin to stabilize the other side. So that goes in, and now I'm level and straight, and I can gently slide it back into its place. It adds an extra 20.5 inches out into the shop when it is up. So in a small shop like this, it makes a big difference for me. Sometimes I do giant, I did like a 9 or 10 foot couch, sectional couch on the floor here, and having that tucked away is the only way I could accomplish that here in the shop. People have been asking me a lot about how I built it, how it's holding up, so that's why we're making this video. When I built this, you can see that video linked in the description below and how I built it if you want to check it out. But I actually stood on top of this with the pins, and I'm about 250 pounds, so it could definitely hold me. And then I ended up building this enclosure. The enclosure is really important because it keeps the sound down, it keeps all the dust inside of it, and that way I can have a talking level in here when the CNC machine is cruising around. But it's full of plexiglass, so I can still see the CNC and keep my eye on it just to make sure everything's going smoothly. And I have screwed up a lot. I mean, I have broken this machine multiple times, let it run, it ran into nails on one piece, got off track over here, the top Z-axis motor flipped out and ran the machine to the ground, bent it, broke it, and I had to repair it. That's really how I kind of learn, is when I kind of screw things up, I learn how to fix them and I learn not to do that. So the enclosure is really cool. It's just hooked to these pins on the side, on each side, that hold it from not sliding out. I can pull those pins and glide that forward. Then when the CNC machine's cruising, I have a door here that goes on the front that lives on the side of the CNC machine. And now everything's contained in there, and I can work off the CNC here and move it around inside of there. I have, I don't know, 40 or 50 CNC videos of things I made, that I made off the CNC machine. I had no CNC background whatsoever. I never used a CAD or a CAM system. I taught myself all of that on YouTube and learned all of that. I actually learned the easel software before I got the machine so that I was kind of familiar with it and can make carves right out of the gate. Been a super fun thing to have in a wood shop. It elevates the woodworking to a whole nother level. And then when I'm done with it, I home the machine back to where it goes, slide the cover back or the enclosure back, put my pins in, and now I easily enough slide it back out, pull my pin from this side, grab my little rope, I kind of loop that in my hand so it's nice and tight, and then I pull this pin. Now, when I've had people in here help me, they want to hold on to this. No, I just let that kind of go down, gently guide it down to where it needs to go, and then I can pull up and set my rope on the side, slide it back up against the wall. This little toggle switch here, or this little iPad stand, tucks nicely right in. And now I have all that extra room for activities, right? So that's kind of the functionality of how it works for me. It works really well. Let me show you some failures that I had. One, the first one I can even see right now, is in my top plexiglass. And my plexiglass, I routed that out. You can see that in the video that I made. Whoa, where are you going? And the super glue, or excuse me, the hot glue that I used, this is out. See that? That back, you know, so this I need to redo this, and I need to figure out a better way to attach that than the hot glue. For some reason in Texas, it gets wicked hot, it gets wicked cold, and those seem to pop out, so maybe some silicone or something like that. But that's a failure on my part of how to attach the plexiglass to the wood. Another one here is, you can see on this bottom shelf here, the bottom of the cabinet, it kind of bows in the center. Let's find the tape here. So it's actually sagging in the middle a little bit. So out here, I'm at 4 inches. In the center, I'm at 3 3/4. So there's a 1/4 inch sag down here. Now this mark right here is the mark of when it's open. This is how much it comes out into the shop. And this mark here is when it's pushed back, and that is 20.5 inches of extra space in the shop. So the sag, how would I fix that? Would I put another one of these casters in the center? I don't know. I mean, it's not killing me. It's a 1/4 inch out, you know. It hasn't messed up my alignment of my swinging table at all. I put paste wax on those sides, anything that rubs quite a bit. I put paste wax on there. Another thing, I wouldn't do a little camera. I never used it. I used it like once. I also wouldn't do the interior lights. I didn't ever need those because they have plexiglass on the top. I built it all with Craig jigs and all out of plywood. You can see the plans and how I built it on my YouTube channel. I'm making this video again because people ask me, how is it holding up? It's been 2 years. I beat the heck out of it. You know, in this little side here, I have my vacuum right down here. And that is hooked to a little relay switch to a dedicated vacuum with a switch here for this machine. So I kind of use that. Most of the time I use the Dust Right dust collection system because it's got a larger hose, but I do have that on there. The drawers, how the drawers worked out, awesome. This bottom one's become a catch-all for my vinyl, my plans, you know, pieces of blocks of wood to stabilize stuff, and everything that came with this machine ended up in this drawer. So I know that the instructions and the plans and everything are all in here. Then in this drawer, this has got extra measuring tapes, my wrenches for the machine, and all kinds of extra bits in there. Yeah, so this has got extra bits, double-sided tape, my probe, just stuff I generally use in here all the time, my calipers. I ended up buying these extra little clips, these relay clips, for, you know, that someone had said, hey, make sure you get an extra 1 or 2 of those because it sucks when those go out. I haven't had to reuse those, but I have 2 or 3 extra of those. I have my broken bits here, which there's probably 40 broken little bits. You know, the 32nd ones, the 16th one, the 1/8 inch one, I tend to break those a lot. But, you know, like I said, I work, you know, the way that I work is I just kind of use things and beat them up and just see how far I can push them. And, you know, that's just a part of my learning. But I keep those broken bits right here. There's a magnetic tray here, easily to keep that. Some tape, miscellaneous stuff kind of hit this table every now and again. Again, my vinyl. Just extra things I'm working on. But everything that goes with this is in these 2 drawers. And then I have my slide out little table here. Now I thought that I would really use that like with a mouse and like move it around and work off it, but I generally use the pad on my computer, so it does come in handy. I do set stuff on there. I do use this extra shelf. It's just an extra table. When I don't need it, it slides away, it slides back out. I think you guys have seen those in my cabinet builds, but that's a simple thing to add extra countertop space when you need it and when you don't. On the side here, right here, I put a little air compressor nozzle right here, a 3-way switch so that I could blow off the machine. I don't really have to do that because I've got this one right here that goes over to the table saw, goes over to the CNC machine, and I've also got one at my main workbench. So I didn't need to run a hose over to the CNC, which, you know, I thought I might, and I, you know, just planning for every everything that I could think of. So again, you can see how I built this. Actually, watch me build it and the troubleshooting I had to do to get it to here. You can see plans for how to build the actual base cabinet and the cabinets, plans how to build the enclosure. The tabletop itself is actually 48 by 48, so it's a 4-foot square inside of this flipping table. I absolutely love it. You know, adding this X-carve detail on the end here, this was just like kind of like an afterthought, like, oh, that'd be cool. That was like one of my first carves, is just carving the Inventables X-carve logo in the side to hold the door. You know, it is a versatile machine, fun machine. Any CNC machine that you have, I hope this gives you some ideas on how to store it. You know, I originally thought, hey, I'll put one on the ceiling and then I'll lower it down. I'll build a folding one against the wall, you know. On nice days, I like to wheel my shop out into the front yard. No joke. I'll wheel the whole shop out there in the morning at like 9 a.m. and I'll work in the sun, be out there, and the X-carve's out there carving away, and get out of the inside of the shop and bring everything out. And at that same time, I'll clean the shop. But everything's on casters, everything's kind of modular. So if I need that space, say I'm laying something giant out here, if I need this space, I'll roll this bad boy out of the way. Everything needs to be on wheels. It needs to serve dual purposes. That's just the way that my shop's laid out. Now, if you have any questions or comments about how I built it, how it's holding up, again, it's holding up great after 2 years, leave me a comment down below. I love to get comments. That's why I'm making this video, because I got a bunch of comments. So don't forget to comment. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video, guys. Check out my other videos right here. And I'm Stoner Ericson from Ericson Design Company, and we did something. Ta-da! A little toggle switch I pull off, and then I just glide it up